Oh my God, I'm so glad I'm not single and alone and have an empty house to go home to. As promised in my recent story, I'm going to be doing more long-form content after posting a stitch or skit, a shorter version of content, with the hopes of sharing more about the reasons behind that skit, the purpose behind sharing it. Well, this is a juicy one because I recently shared about a passionate topic for me, parenting, and someone did a post that I really don't like, that I really disagree with. And so I shared about why I disagreed with that, and lots of people in the comments shared about why they disagreed with me, which they're absolutely allowed to do. So in case you didn't see the post, I recommend you looking at my page and trying to find it, probably the most recent one. But I'll describe it to you, it's really brief. It's a guy getting into his car and he's like super stressed out, and in the caption it says what it feels like going home after a stressful day and not having any kids. And then he suddenly gets a big grin on his face. And to me, as a person who is so happy to be a father, this sounds insane. It sounds ridiculous to me to have that thought process. Now, I'm sure some people have that thought process, but let me point out what actually I really didn't like about it. Now, after going through the comments, I've been reading some of the comments on my recent post. I might want to stop doing that because I don't know if my heart can handle it. There's a lot of judgment about me. Some people were saying that I was pitying people who don't have kids. I would actually argue the opposite, that this person's pitying people who do have kids. He's making a video celebrating the absence of something. If I was to make the opposing video to what he did, this is what it would look like. I'm getting in my car after a stressful day, and then a thought comes across my mind, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm not single and alone and have an empty house to go home to. And then I'd have a big smile on my face. That would be the opposing thing. I'm not making content like that. You know why? Because that is mean and it's rude. And it would be me actually pitying people who are single and alone and don't have families. I'm not doing that. So what am I doing? Why am I making this post? Some people are saying, why do you care what other people do? Well, part of what I do as a coach is I call out things that I think don't work or aren't forwarding what I want or what I think some other people might want. I call bullshit. And I'm going to be doing that more on my page. I certainly do that already in coaching. And it can be an uncomfortable thing, but also people greatly appreciate when I do it because it can help us wake up from a trance or wake up from an inauthenticity. So let me clarify. I am not trying to get people who don't want to have kids to have kids. If you don't want to have kids and you don't have kids, that's awesome. You're winning. You're having what you want. But if you're someone who does want to have kids and you're scared, you have rational fears about the cost and the challenge of becoming a parent, then I'm sharing this to you. You're the group I'm sharing this to because I don't want you to miss out on parenthood because you let someone like this get into your mind, get into your thought process and convince you that it was a bad idea. This is for those people who genuinely do want kids, but are just scared with rational fears. I feel you. I do this work so that we can become more courageous, and that's what I'm inviting you to do. To do the work so that you can become the kind of person that can rise above those fears, that you can choose love over fear. That's what governs everything I do. That's the name of my coaching program, Love Over Fear. I'm genuinely doing all of this to empower people in any situation, to have people come from a space of love instead of fear. If you're not having a family because you're scared to, I think it's much better to look to build the courage to make that attempt to move forward with love over fear, not love in the absence of fear, not love when I'm not scared, love over fear. That's why I'm calling this out. And that's why I think it's so important. Because if I was on the edge and I was seeing posts like this, doubts would start to seep into my mind. And suddenly I go, maybe it's not worth it. Maybe I shouldn't bother. And in my opinion, you guys, in my opinion, it is absolutely worth it. I think having a family is the greatest thing. And that doesn't mean if you don't have a family, your life is worse. It doesn't mean that. This is my opinion about what I think, and you can disagree. My genuine goal with what I do is to actually help people become courageous enough to live the kind of lives they genuinely want to live. That doesn't mean live a life free from obstacles. It means become the kind of person that can overcome obstacles. You know, most people are complaining about the situation they're in. You know, if it's a parent saying, oh, it's so hard and I wish I didn't, I mean, to me, that's irresponsible, weak, and small. It'd be different if you said, it's so hard and I haven't figured out how to put a team around me and I'm trying to get my patience to a higher level, but I'm struggling with it. That's honorable. That's actually coming from a place of personal responsibility. I genuinely think family is the most important thing in the world. I have an extremely rewarding career. I love what I do. There's lots of other things I love in my life. And to be able to share that with my family is my favorite thing. That's what brings the most meaning and joy and fulfillment and happiness in my life. What I'm intending to do more and more of on this page, and what I already do in my coaching, is promote courage, promote honesty. It's a hard thing to genuinely look at, is that what I really want, or is that what other people want for me and I'm following that? And as human beings, we have a habit of overcorrecting. So some people are arguing, I'm not having a family because I'm not going to do it just because other people tell me to do it. Great, that's great. But again, we have a habit of overcorrecting. So what if instead it used to be popular and common to have a family and I'm doing it because of that reason. And now it's becoming more popular and common to not have a family. And now we're just doing it for those reasons. So you're still following based off what other people think instead of what you think. And that's, again, what I'm trying to promote here more and more. That's why in my community, we talk so much about self-trust. Self-trust is that I don't have to go to me, Coach Simon, or anybody in my life to get them to tell me what I should do. I can trust myself. I don't need anyone else's stamp of approval. I want to have kids because I want to have kids. I don't want to have kids. I don't have kids. My question for everybody to look deeper, am I doing that because I'm scared? Or am I doing that because I genuinely want to? Am I coming from love or am I coming from fear? That's what I'm inviting. So I understand if some of you were upset by me being upset. It's okay. The passion is fine. I'm a very passionate person, and I can see how some people might get rubbed the wrong way by that. I think also a lot of you are really used to seeing me share skits that don't really take a stance. I mean, they kind of take a stance around courage already, but you're not used to me sharing more of my personal views, and you might be surprised by that. That's okay. I get that. Now to wrap things up, some of you might be completely resonating with this message and some of you might be absolutely not. I hope to see more comments from the people who are resonating with this message. And for those of you that aren't, it might just not be for you, and that's okay too. I hope that this video and all my content in some way supports you to choose whatever action or path comes from love over fear. Thank you guys for joining me in this long form video. If you made it to the end, it's a testament of your attention and I believe your commitment to growth. If you did make it this far and you haven't heard about my Love Over Fear program starting in February, I only do this 3 times a year, then comment 2025 and we'll send you the details about my 4-month group program focused on living a life of love over fear. Whether you have kids or don't, whether you want kids or don't, it's not about me pushing my values onto you, except for the values of love over fear. See you later.